Hey everyone, I'm Amber and I'm here to share another little autistic moment with you. I had such a great, enthusiastic response to my last video, the one about the first day of preschool with autistic twins, that I thought I might like to share a few more moments with you, especially if you take care of an autistic child, work in the special needs world, or if you're a parent and you're trying to raise your child who is autistic, then I just want to connect with you via this video and tell you a little bit about what goes on in my head. And I have a feeling that some of the same things go through your head. So I just wanted to share a little bit. Today I wanted to talk about the blame game. I was pregnant with the twins 4 years ago. They are Alex and Will. And I was a little bit later in life. I was 34 and I already had 2 children in my early 20s. All the same family. People always ask. It's all the same daddy. We've just been together for a long time. And we were really excited to find out that we were having twins. And it took me a little while to get pregnant. And it was a huge deal breaker for me having 2 older boys and a couple of miscarriages. I knew that I struggled with postpartum depression and depression in general, and I was on Wellbutrin, and I wanted to keep my mental health intact while I was pregnant and after giving birth. There's something about the anxiety and bringing in a new life into the house. It's like you're moving a new person in, and it causes me a lot of anxiety. And to know that I was having 2, even before I got pregnant, I talked to my OB and said, risk versus benefit, I really need to keep taking Wellbutrin because it's very important that I stay sane, and that's my happy pill. So he gave me the go ahead, and I took Wellbutrin before I got pregnant, during my pregnancy, and following the birth of my twins. A little bit about their birth. They were almost full term. I carried them to 37 weeks, 5 days. I had a fairly uneventful twins pregnancy. I went into preterm labor around 32 weeks and went in for the infamous mag drip for neurodevelopment to help speed up their neurodevelopment, and it was misery. And I came through it and was able to come off of bed rest around 34, 35 weeks, and then didn't actually go into labor until 37.5, and had 2 healthy 5'11" and 6'8" twin baby boys, vaginal delivery, no C-section. I'm really excited to say I have some good doctors who are the biggest cheerleaders when it comes to vaginal delivery, so I did not have to have surgery. And fairly uneventful birth. My second boy, Will, was breech and a little bit slow to wake up at delivery, and I couldn't hold him. They wouldn't let me hold him immediately. I had to wait until they got him breathing real good, but they never had to use the ambu bag, and they just kind of worked with him and stimulated him a little bit to get him to breathe. And then I had issues with breastfeeding. I already knew that I was not a good producer, and that's a whole nother subject, but, and with twins, they were really worried about low blood sugar. Kind of the thinking is now, from my experience in the hospital, is not this Nazi breastfeeding is everything feeding, but it's more a question of, is your baby getting enough? Is there enough glucose? You don't want your baby to have low blood sugar because it can turn into brain issues, neurodevelopment. I never had an issue with that. I was happy to do formula. I didn't think I would be able to keep up with the production, and I was glad to live in the 21st century and be able to feed the children with bottles. So I had an uneventful delivery, took a low dose of a happy pill during pregnancy. Not too many problems. They never stayed in the NICU. I had to ask to stay an extra day in the hospital because they were going to send me home after 2 days. And I said, I'd love to stay a 3rd day so that I can get some sleep, which they accommodated me. And then I went home and I pumped one good time, and then my milk dried up and it never even really hurt, which was kind of sad to me. But I kind of already knew based on my other pregnancies that I wasn't probably not going to be able to give them enough. And I didn't stress about it. I just started them on bottle feeding, and then we went from there. Fast forward to a year-old, 18 months old. They're not talking. They are slow to walk. They babble a little bit, but they never really progress. And that's when we started questioning what's going on. Why are they not developing? There's some kind of developmental delay. So I kind of went back and forth. I swung between the pendulum of it's fine, it's gonna be fine. I just need to give it a little bit more time. People are telling me that their kid didn't talk until they were blah, 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 that their kid was a little late, yada, yada, yada. And I thought, okay, it's all right. To the other side of, my children are never gonna be normal. What is my problem? What have I done to them? So through all the testing and everything, you know, when you're the parent of an autistic child and you're going through all of that, you're struggling with the blame because, is it because I didn't breastfeed? Is it because I took Wellbutrin while I was pregnant? I did have that one glass of wine. I needed it for my nerves so bad, but I probably shouldn't have drank that one glass of wine. And then I think, you know, you see a lot of dietary issues and processed food and what did I eat while I was pregnant? Did I eat things that were unhealthy? I did. I ate non-organic gluten, which is probably not great for my gut. And I had some corn syrup at some point, and, you know, all of the mass-produced crops that we have that are all GMOs and all the things, and then you start tearing things apart in your head going, was it all the GMO stuff that I ate? Is it my fault? What did I do? Why are they not normal? How do I fix it? And it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I accept it, and I'm okay with it is what it is. I have 2 special needs children, and I grieve that loss of expectation that they're not normal and they may never be normal. I grieve not being able to go to Disney World when I want to because I love Disney World. I am a Disney princess at heart, and I have the voice. Maybe one day I'll share it with you. But I grieve that we don't leave the house very much, and we definitely don't go out to eat, because the last trip was to a Red Lobster on a Friday night, and it was an absolute disaster and my personal definition of hell. And I will never do that again. I'll never do that to them again, because they screamed the entire time and it was horrible. And my mother had just died, so I was already emotional. Ugh, that's another story for another day. But I am here to tell you that it is not your fault. It's not what you ate or didn't eat, or that glass of wine that you had, or that antidepressant that you took, or I took Zofran because I was so nauseated while I was pregnant. Was it the Zofran? I don't know. And at this point, it doesn't really matter. It matters in the sense that they need to do research. The nebulous they needs to do research and figure out, why are we having such a burst of autism on the scene in the last 5 or 10 years? Or is it just that we're becoming more aware? It could go either way. I have no idea. All I know is that I have born and am rearing 2 delightful, sweet, precious 4-year-old twins who happen to be special needs. And I have moments of despair and sadness, and I have moments of absolute joy in the children that God gave me, and the little smiles that I get from them, and the sweet giggles and laughter, because they laugh a lot. And I'm fortunate because my children love to hug, and it's probably part of the sensory that they like to feel secure. I revel in that, and I enjoy every single minute. And my babies, even though they're 4 and kind of getting big, still sit in my lap and still let me squeeze them tight. And that's the part that I hold on to. And I want you to do the same. Stop blaming yourself. Start appreciating the little moments that you have. Cry when you need to cry. grieve when you need to grieve because it is a loss, and then put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And that's all you can do. And enjoy the little moments. Thanks for listening, and I will try to keep posting about the craziness that is in my head. And maybe at some point I can give you a little video of the twins so you can kind of see how they are. And I look forward to next time.